What's going on? So today was a big day. I had my foot surgery. I was in and out in 3 hours. It's pretty good. In context, about 3 years ago, I had a horrible break on my leg. I was just a sports accident, basically. I don't want to go into too much detail. I don't think it matters. And then my foot horrifically broke, so that doctors didn't even know if I could ever walk again to that degree. They did the surgery. I got a really, really good surgeon, and she put a screw into it, took all the stuff out of my ankle, and then screwed everything together. And today, 2.5, 3 years later, the screw came out, and I must see what happens, because I do have issues walking along long periods. So if I walk for over 3 hours, I definitely will feel the pain. And I do that quite daily, basically, right? I walk around all the time because I can't be on the phone if I have to walk around when I'm on the phone. And so walk to work and walk back and walk with the kid, walk to the work, walk everywhere. So it's pretty easy to actually get the time in. So I hope that maybe that will get better if I get the screw out. So we don't know yet. We'll see though. Anyways, I've actually been completely addicted to Warframe. Warframe really got me. But I don't want to talk about Warframe right now. We'll talk about Warframe when we get to the Warframe video. I just want to do chronologically further go through the games. And in the meantime, I'll play more Warframe, so I'll actually have a much, much, much better take on them. But I want to speak about Maplestory. And speaking about Maplestory today, it's such a good game that just cannot get out of its own way, right? At least for a new player who has zero nostalgia into Maplestory. I really enjoy the side-scrolling ability, spamming, killing everything, moving on, killing everything, moving on, upgrading your classes, unlocking classes, getting more classes, all those classes together. Give you perma stats boosts, and it makes sense to level all classes, makes sense to level your class. You have everywhere. Abilities, there's different ways of progressing. I don't know if there's different ways of building yet, but it's just actually everything I like. Everything I do progresses my character. And if my character is at max, I take a new character and progress that character, which will also automatically progress all other characters. And there's lots of endgame content, there's bosses and there's raids, and it's just the entire thing. It's just awesome, right? I really enjoy that. But it has so much shit in it. It's just unbelievable. You can't, it's a side scrolling, and you can't pick up loot by walking over it. You have to press a button for it. And they do that because they want to make you buy a pet. That pet will pick up your loot. It is the most garbage thing I've ever seen in my entire life. The pet doesn't even pick up all the loot. It picks up only things which it walks past, right? So if you kill something above, and the pet is with you, it just won't even pick that up. So this is the most in that moment I was just very close to fucking this entire game off, but I needed to see the combat and more advanced, so I needed to level higher. And just fucking so much text, you're just reading and reading and reading, and I'm just fucking skipping over all of it. And I know 99% of you are skipping all over. 99.9999% of you all skip over that fucking text, so fuck that. Yeah. So there's too much to talk about in Maplestory, but would you need to, and also finding quests where you have to go. Sometimes you click on the marker that it tells you where to go, but it says there's no waypoint, but you don't know how to get there, and you just have to. It's super unintuitive. It constantly throws itself into my way of playing the game. I want to play the way of the game, but it just doesn't let me. I have to pick up loot randomly. I can't play the game. I have to find my way through a 2D map world, which doesn't even tell me necessarily where to go unless I've somehow been there before. Sometimes it gives me a waypoint, sometimes it doesn't give me a waypoint. I was 4 hours in, I had to Google 4 times on a quest. Just stupid, right? Then there's a hyperburn section which levels you all up, so quests become irrelevant, but then some quests are necessary. Sometimes you have to upgrade a quest for your for your class, but you don't know that. Just sort of just stumble upon it. And when you open the quest log, oh, oops, look, it somehow just appeared in your quest log. You never picked up the quest, but it just appeared there. So do you know what I mean? Just you want to play the game, but just the game constantly throws itself into your fucking legs to just play it, and it's just stupid. I think the idea and the combat and all and the progression, and I'm sure there's like a pay to win aspect to it, but that's not the point right now, right? Just the combat, the way it does it, I really enjoy that. And I think it's a really good take on it, because seeing that we already tried to do 2D RPG and horrifically failed because we just way over-engineered that entire thing, right? Every ability has an own animation, and then like starting and ending and hitbox and all of that. Where in Maplestory, they sort of just like run, walk, or like walk, jump, I think it's crouch or something like that, and attack, right? And then they do the attack animation, and then with that attack animation, they just plaster like gigantic VFX on top of it, and live with it. Just be happy. Gigantic VFX on top of it and be done with it. I think that's a good way of doing it. Like just looking from a technical perspective, all you gotta do is just you do all the like programming wise, you do still the same thing, but animation wise, you just have to plaster fucking VFX on it. I think that might be easier than having to animate every single fucking thing. And the reason we didn't want to do gear, right? This is one of the main reasons why we didn't want to do gear in our old 2D RPG Shinigami Hunter, was because we would have to redraw every single thing with a new piece of gear. In this case, you don't have to do it. You just plaster the gear on it, and just again, you just do the same animation and just fucking VFXing all over the place. So I see this. I think there's some potential there. I think you could make a really good Maplestory game, something super grindy, right? Where people just can play and progress, and have lots of different characters, because Maplestory has like 50 classes or whatever. I don't actually know how many classes there are, but there's a lot. And you can go through all the classes, and then there's reasons to level each class, and then there might be super bosses, and then you just redo bosses, do maker runs, hardcore runs, you kill your directors. So there's so many things you can do in that. And I think there is something there which I will be definitely exploring towards our next game. And hopefully that will get our programmer also a little bit more on board, because he feels like that we are obviously not building something towards his competency, which he's 100% correct, right? But saying that I wanted to start at the lowest of lowest levels. This is why we're making a text-based game, just because that is the first step, and then we'll take a tiny step again, tiny step again, and those steps are going to get bigger, and our scope is going to get bigger and bigger. But I wanted to do the first, I just wanted to release something. And if that was going to be fucking tic-tac-toe, it was going to be tic-tac-toe. But we stayed on that because, we wanted to give it the 3 months and see what we could do. And then we'll do the text game first, that medieval hustler. So I'm cool with that, right? So the next one's going to be a little bit more advanced, and then our game is going to come out in, I believe, end of August. I think so, right? Yeah. I think end of August we should be done. It actually released like 31st of August, must release. I don't even have a Steam page. I don't even have Steam up, right? I'm still working on that, but I'll pick up on that, tomorrow. Yeah, that's sort of the situation. See you tomorrow. Tomorrow, what do I have on board? I know Nitro Express yesterday was garbage. Today is kind of Maplestory is going to be garbage. There are going to be 2 more things which are a little bit more garbage, but I have to go through them, otherwise I forget everything which we talked about. And then we get to Warframe. And Papers, Please, and all of the other stuff. All right, boys.